Okay, I'm going to do my makeup. This morning I have a cheer competition to go to today for my niece, and then I have a Christmas party to go to tonight. Normally I don't wear a primer with this 3D foundation, but because I'm not going to have time to redo my makeup, I'm going to put a primer on to give my skin a little bit of extra grip so my makeup lasts. So that was the NYX NYX Honey Dew Me Up. The only primer I recommend with this makeup. Okay, and I use the Brow Trio Stencil Kit by Trio Beauty because I don't have brows. And this stuff right here, if you have not tried it, it is absolutely phenomenal. If you go to my Instagram page, you can see that I have done a recent video that includes everything that comes in the brow kit. Okay, so the only other thing that I did is I went in with their little brow flick pen. It looks like a liquid eyeliner. And I drew some brow like hairs to make my brows look a little bit more realistic. And then I just kind of soften it with a spoolie just a little bit. Okay, now let's do some makeup. So before I go in with my 3D foundation, I'm gonna use one of our color correcting products called Demi, just to knock out a little bit of this darkness on my inner corner and underneath my eye. I use the colors 03, which is an orange, and then Y01 and Y1, just to kind of conceal that a little bit. And then I'm just doing such a light layer, and I'm gonna go back in with my 3D makeup on top of it. Like, this stuff takes like the tiniest amount. So you can see that just kind of conceals a little bit of what is on this side. So this is a little bit more blue right here, and then this is violet. Sometimes excess violet looks like red on the skin, but it's actually violet. So I'm just being super quick with this, getting a little bit of that harsh redness off my eyelid. And now we'll move to 3D. Okay, so this is my all-in-one compact 3D foundation with Seint, customized to me. I'm gonna do things a little bit different today, and I like to swap up the way that I put my makeup on because you cannot mess this up. So I'm gonna take the 3D brush and I'm gonna dip it into my contour, and I'm gonna contour first, and then I'm gonna do bronzer, and then I'm gonna do my foundation, because I'm just gonna be real and honest. I could not contour. Like, I looked at all this stuff on Pinterest and I couldn't contour. Number one, I wasn't using products that went together, but like, you just take these creams and just basically place them where they go. So you contour on your forehead. If you have a very small forehead, you can do the sides. If your hairline goes further back, you can contour more to create that shadow up there. And then I'm just taking this, I don't have to be super precise, and I'm running it under that cheekbone. So like right where that bevel of that cheekbone, that indentation, is where your contour is gonna go. I'm gonna chisel out my jawline just a little. All right, I'm gonna move right into my bronzer. I don't have my bronzer in my main palette. I really don't know why. I think it's because I'm a little extra and I like to have multiple things here. So I'm using Bella bronzer, and I'm gonna put it right below that contour on my forehead, because I'm gonna get coverage from this too. Do you have to start like this? No. You can start your makeup and apply it in whatever order. I don't know why that didn't sound right. Whatever order you want to. When I tell you can't mess it up, you can't. So the bronzer kind of goes more where the sun is naturally gonna kind of, some people bring it across, but I'm gonna put foundation there. Where the sun naturally kind of tans your face first, that's where your bronzer is gonna go. I'm gonna swap to my fluffy brush, And I'm gonna pull this down my neck because nobody's face, neck, and chest matches. And so many women try to match their makeup to their neck, and your neck is always gonna be lighter, number one, because there's always a shadow and we're never gonna get any color there. Number two, we always, like us women, carry so much redness in our chest. So when you bring your when you match your makeup to your face, not your neck or your chest, you match it to what needs coverage on your face, then you're gonna get the coverage in the right colors, and then you can always match your neck with and your chest with either a foundation color or a bronzer. So I'm just gonna wipe off the excess bronzer, not a whole lot of product on the brush, and I'm gonna go right in with my highlight colors, which are foundation. So I do my darkest color right here first because I have texture, large pores. If you're ever watching somebody put their makeup on and their skin, or you're looking at people and you see zero texture, 9 times out of 10 it's filtered. Makeup is gonna look like makeup, and I think that we've been so deceived by so many filtered camera lenses, filtered, photos and things like that. But I put my darkest color where I have texture and some redness right through here because I need coverage. If I put something too light there, it's gonna accentuate those pores and make them look a little bit bigger. So if you're putting on your foundation, ladies, and your fine lines and wrinkles or your pores are screaming after you put your foundation on, your color is gonna be too light. All right, so you can see this is already coming together. Yes, we're not blended, but it's gonna come together. So I'm gonna take what would be more of like the same color foundation as my skin. I use a total of 3 foundation colors. That first one was amber. I'm sorry, that first one was mango. This one is amber. And I'm just gonna put this everywhere else where there's no product on my face. So it's gonna be under my contour, I'm going down to my jawline, underneath my eyes, and right here. I don't put a ton of product under my eyes because I have fine lines and wrinkles, and I need just a little bit for coverage. And if you get a little too much going on under there, you can get creasing. But the good thing about Seint is you can just tap it out if you do. All right, so I've put amber. I'm just gonna kind of stipple this under my eye to get that product distributed. All right, so when I blend, I start with my highlight colors and I just tap. Like, you're gonna watch this come together, and I'm still fascinated every single time that I do it. I'm just tapping with a 3D brush. And once I kind of feel like those colors are kind of blended, then I'm gonna move into this bronzer and contour and kind of mesh those two together. Just tapping. That's all you have to do is tap. I mean, are you seeing this? It just fascinates me every time. I actually look forward to putting my makeup on because I'm still like wowed every time I do this. So you may say, Miss Dee, why do you put your bronzer on first instead of last? Personal preference. Sometimes I get a better blend of my contour when I add my bronzer there, and I give it a little bit something extra to blend to. Sometimes I just throw that contour on and keep on trucking. Like, you can't mess it up. There's not a wrong way. All right, don't forget to blend that jawline. All right, so you can see, like, I have coverage, have dimension. What do you think? All right, so I just like to take my damp perfector sponge, which is like a beauty blender, beauty sponge, whatever you want to call it, and I just kind of pounce it over my face. So if you get a little heavy-handed, this will remove any excess makeup that's just kind of sitting on your skin, but it's not really going to affect your look. I have like a vein poking out right there. All right, so I'm gonna brighten a little bit. So I'm just gonna take a brush that has a smaller point on it. You could use your finger. I'm gonna pop a pop color right here on this inner corner just to brighten me up just a little bit. I can't go too bright because I have texture around my eyes, but I do want to brighten some just a little bit. And then I'll bring it out here, but I'll also probably clean this up a little bit more after I do my eyeshadow. All right, blush, I'm gonna tap with my finger. I'm gonna use the color Sandstone. Right here. And I'm just gonna tap it all over both sides. You can use your brush or your finger. I just find that mine works a little bit easier when I use my finger. Okay, so Sandstone is this dark color right here, but I like to top mine with a little bit of a lighter color. This is Taffy. It's a limited edition shade. I feel like it just gives the perfect color. It softens it a little bit. I'm not a huge blush person. Like, this is a big step. I'm normally like a little bit of blush, mainly a bronzer girl, but I'm trying to incorporate more blush into my makeup. So like, I'm loving that. And I may go add more bronzer, you never know. I love bronzer. Actually, let's add a little bit more bronzer. I'm gonna tap just a little. Perfect. All right, so I'm gonna add a little bit of illuminator. So this one right here is called Starlit. It's kind of like just iridescent. So I see where the light kind of hits my face. This one's a powder. We have some cream ones too. And like you can just see, it gives that little bit of extra glow. I just add mine to the highs of my cheekbones. Some people come in and do their nose. Some people do their Cupid's bow, but I'm about to contour my nose. And I just put a brighter color right there. All right, I'm gonna contour my nose. It's a totally optional step, but I'm gonna use the detail brush and I just dip it in my contour and basically just kind of lay it. Keep your lines close together when you contour your nose. If you go outside your nose, like outside the bridge, the center bone, you're gonna make your nose appear to be wider. Now, if you're wanting your nose to appear to be a little bit wider, then you can definitely go outside. But I'm just gonna soften this. And a little brightness right here. Totally optional step here, but I prefer a nose contour. Okay, let's move to eyeshadow. I'm gonna do something kind of neutral, just because that way if I need to add something to it this evening when I come back, I will, or I can. So I'm gonna run our cream shadow Arabian Nights underneath for an eyeliner. I still love me some eyeliner, but I usually keep it focused on the top, and I use this on the bottom. It just gives a little bit more of a softer look. And I feel like now that in my 40s, I need to stay away from the harsh black underneath. Let's see. I'm gonna just go with this brush. All right, so I'm gonna do like a wash, which is kind of like my transition color. This just kind of helps for blending. So this is like a medium to light tone. You don't have to be exact with it, but it will help so much blending if you do something like this before you start your applying your eyeshadow. And I've also learned too that if I go from light to dark and build my darker color, it makes blending so much easier instead of like starting with something dark. I'm gonna run a little bright color right there. All right, let's see. I was looking for this brush water. Here it is. Okay, I'm gonna go start with Chai, which is this color right here. I'm just gonna tap it I have to tilt my head back a little bit because I have very hooded, deep set eyes. So if I put color on my lid, you're not gonna see it. So I kind of have to just keep my eye open, tilt it back. Sometimes I'm going above that bone, like above that crease bone, because if not, you'll never, ever, never, ever, ever, ever see this. All right, so we're just gonna build some coverage, or build some color, I should say. Soften that with the other end. I love the fact that our brushes are double-ended, dual-ended, because you can just flip and flip and flip. Let's see, what do I want to do? Let me look in this one, my big palette. I think I'll go with Bird. So this is Bird. It's just kind of like a neutral brown. I'm gonna build a little bit more depth here, keeping it on the outside and then pushing it in. If you get your eyeshadow down too far, don't worry. Don't worry, we can fix that in just a second. I try not to, but I'm just gonna be real with you. I'm not perfect. And it happens. It's just makeup. It's not permanent. It's just makeup. All right, so adding a little bit more color. Push that up and in. All right, I'm gonna keep it real simple today. So I'm gonna go with Stardust, which is like a taupey color shimmer. I'm gonna apply my shimmer with my finger. If you wear shimmer eyeshadow, use your finger to apply it. It's a game changer. You don't have all of that fallout, and you get better color saturation. This is one of my favorite colors, by the way. Eyeshadow is one of those things that always looks a little wonky until I get my eyeliner and mascara on. All right, so I just have a little fan brush and I just lightly kind of just sweep away any fallout. So I'm gonna go in with Glamazing, which is like, this was the illuminator I did on the highs of my cheekbones. This is Glamazing. It is very, very bold, but I love to add it to an eyeshadow. I don't know what that was. And I just take my little pinky finger, pop it right there on the inner corner, and you can make Glamazing scream and shout or be a talk and a whisper. It's totally up to you. All about how much you blend it out. What you think? Liking it? I'm gonna do one more thing. I'm gonna take a little bit of Philly. I just feel like I need a little bit of depth right here, just to kind of bring it, bring it all together. That's better. So I'm actually going in my crease and a little above. I'll tell you too, if I'm gonna add a really dark color on the outside, sometimes I like to do my shimmer first and get everything done and then go in and add it. It kind of blends better. That's better. All right, let's do some eyeliner and mascara. All right, I can hardly do this in a phone, so I'm gonna look right here in the mirror. So this is the Rimmel Scandaleyes waterproof eyeliner in the color black that I tightline with. I just kind of blink it under that waterline, so you can see it's already gonna give me a fuller lash line. And then this is Fenty Beauty liquid liner. I'm only gonna do one eye, just for time's sake, but I take my liner and I go from the bottom lash line out. I have to give a little tension with my finger on my skin so you can see that line there. Then I'm gonna come from that line and come into my lash line. And then I'm just gonna fill that in. So if you draw from the bottom lash line out and then come from that to your bottom lash line, and then I just like to dirty up my lash line because my lashes aren't that dark and it just helps give me a little bit fuller. So that's how I do my liner. Let me do the other side real quick. All right, so real quick before I do my mascara, how I told you you can clean up that eyeshadow. Just take your brush and you'll just go up with it. And then you can take your highlight color and go back in and apply a little bit to give a little bit more coverage or brightness. Okay, mascara makes such a difference, but I got a little mess ups up there, but that's fine. We're gonna let it dry and then flick it off once it's dry. So I'm gonna set my cream makeup because if you wear cream foundation or you're wearing this foundation, you need to set it. I use a little bit of the IT Cosmetic Bye Bye Pores translucent powder base. I just got that in my eye. Hold on, I got my brush dirty. I also got mascara on my face from my brush. Keeping it real here. All right, I'm just gonna kind of blend that out. All right, let me swap powder brushes to finish this. So I just dab a little bit of powder, especially in the areas that I might get a little bit shiny, but I also want to set these creams. So I kind of use a setting spray sometimes and a powder. So in the areas that I might get a little bit shiny, I'll blot some powder on there and then I'll just dab some setting spray all over everything else. I just spritz it on my little makeup sponge, the same one I used earlier to blot. And I just kind of pounce it all over to set everything else. Okay, let's do some lips. So I'm gonna line with my contour. Still gonna fix that mess up in just a second. I'm gonna line this will just give me a little bit more of a fuller lip underneath because I don't have that much of a, I don't have really full lips. So I'm just lining a little bit and then I'm gonna enhance that shadow right there with contour. I'm gonna put on some lip conditioner and I don't know what I want to use. La Cienega. This has been one of my favorites. It's like a glossy pink, kind of an iridescent look. All right, I'm going to put some of that on my finger. I'm going to put a little bit of, I don't know what lip liner this is. Maybelline Color Stay Totally Toffee. Give a little bit more to that top lip. And there you have it. All right, so while I am correcting my mascara little mess up, be sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you're interested in any of this makeup, you can swing to my Instagram page and shoot me a message, or you can text the number. This is just a dry spoolie, by the way. And this is how you clean up any mascara mistakes. You just let them dry, and then you just run that spoolie, and it cleans it up. But if you're interested in trying this makeup and you haven't yet, there's a number you can text. I'll list it in the comments below. You can text color match me, or we can start a conversation, however you want to do it. But be sure to subscribe to my channel because this is where my long tutorials are. My Instagram has a lot of short things to it. But yeah, that's it. That's my Seint all-in-one compact makeup customized to me. Highlighting and contour has never been easier.